They come from San Francisco, from Salinas, from Santa Barbara. Long hairs and short, browns, whites, and blacks. Clad, some in boots, some in wingtips, some in sandals. They discover what it's like to hurry up and wait. Somehow, though, their differences seem small in the face of that one great common bond, basic training. Today, they're called recruits. Tomorrow, 16 weeks away, they will earn the right to a new title, soldiers.
My name is Everett Alvarez, graduate of Santa Clara University, but way back in 1960. The day after I graduated, I had already signed up to go into the Navy for a flight training program. The program took me about 16 months, where we went through primary flight training, Pensacola, and then basic flight training at locations around Pensacola, down that area, and then advanced flight training at Texas, Kingsville, Texas. We went through the process of replacing their airplanes with the new A4s at that time. And we deployed February of 1963 for our first cruise at the USS Constellation. And then we turned around and went back out in May of 1964. And then 3 months later, we were up in what they call Yankee Station, out in the Gulf of Tonkin. And I was involved in the very first actions. We had the Tonkin Gulf incident, which starting in the 2nd of August, 1964, and all of this is history. The North Vietnamese at the time, their Navy torpedo boats came out in broad daylight and attacked one of our destroyers that was in the area. Same thing happened again, but this time it was late at night. Our squadron got the call to man 3 aircraft, A4s, to go to the aid of the destroyers that were under attack. And that was about midnight, the night of August the 4th. I was one of the 3 A4s that launched. Visibility was very poor. I could see the 2 destroyers, but it was very difficult to see anything else in the form of torpedo boats. But we got back to the ship, and the next morning, President Johnson ordered retaliatory raids for this incident, and aircraft from the USS Ticonderoga and aircraft from the USS Constellation launched to hit targets. And our targets, it was a naval base, which was way up north of Haiphong, not too far from the China border. I was flying very low. My plane was hit. I was flying wing on the squadron executive officer. My plane started to come apart, so I had no choice but to pull the ejection seat. Instead of ejecting upward like I was intending to, I was actually almost ejected sideways and downward. And then I felt the tug of the chute, and just as it opened, within a second or two later, I was in the water. I was very fortunate to have made it. Unfortunately, there were fishing boats around me that were militia, and I was captured, and that's what began an 8.5-year POW. I got to know John McCain towards the end of the captivity. Hanoi Hilton's what we call a prison in downtown Hanoi, and it's blocked off sections with bamboo walls and stuff, so you couldn't communicate. But then when they started knocking down these walls, we met everybody that was there. He was one of the guys. He did his job. I mean, he's a guy that was badly injured when he was captured, but he made it. One of the very, very few guys that was badly injured when he was shot down and lived. And then of course he left. He retired from the Navy, and we knew that John was going to be involved in politics. I supported him. He had been in Congress so many years. I had been in the Reagan administration. Got to know him a lot better. We met and did things together here in D.C. Had that bug to run for president, and he did. The first time he did pretty well. Second time, I think he'd become jaded by being in Congress so long. As a senator, he always tried to work even-handed, objectively, worked across the aisle. And he did a lot of things. He's very supportive of military, very supportive of things that he felt were good for the country. But what she did by going to Vietnam was bolstered the morale of the Vietnamese. It didn't change anything politically, but I think she damaged herself. We've raked her over the coals and she deserved it. That was a stupid thing to do. And she apologized for it later. Now, some of the stories about the guys that had to go to see her, those stories were exaggerated and not true, many of them, but again, did a lot of damage to our morale while we were there as POWs. It was about as good as you could have done with regard to everything coming back. It was planned for our return, not really knowing what they were going to find. So when we did get home, we surprised them. A couple of years there, while the negotiations were going on, and the Vietnamese started gradually treating us better and feeding us better and giving us better living conditions. Our mental conditions, I thought, were excellent because we were able to exercise. So a combination of all that, we came off the planes about as good a condition as you could find the individuals. What they had set up, it was well done. We came home about 47 years ago. I can't find a fault anything with the homecoming program because they really prepared well. Yes, I did. There were some individuals that did, and there were a couple of suicides, a few that became alcoholics, which led to their demise gradually over the years. But they were few in number. We had programs that really tried to help. However, there were some, that just couldn't help. I think the biggest thing about coming back was that the younger generation has sort of just moved along so rapidly from what I recall as the younger generations. My generation, when I came home, the guys were the same people, same values, but the younger generation was, maybe the Vietnam War had a big part of that. The drug cultures and free love, I guess, was what they termed it. I just couldn't accept that. I mean, it was just hard for me to accept. Now, I wasn't a prude, but I just felt that we had gone too far. And there really wasn't anything shocking because everything was new. The thing that I remember the most, I had found out before I came home about my marriage having broken up. So it took me a while to get over that. And so when I came home, I was looking to start anew, my life over again.